Keem, can you model a hoodie? So I know what size to buy, rolling on the floor laughing.
Wings sucks.
It's not even about Wings sucks. The whole fact that y'all wanted to script it sucks. Why didn't you just be real? Like, we tried to get Becky here. Becky's a fucking psycho bitch. We learned that by getting her here in person, because nobody's ever met her in person before.
It was just better to act like her walking in the room was a fucking surprise, right? Which her coming technically was a surprise, right?
The joke was from Super Chatted $26.09.
You just gotta
Wings
out
on
everything.
the abuse. Wings, your bald boogie, you slept with your dad.
What's the point of outing everything? Okay, whoa, we changed one little detail just to make it a little bit more entertaining. And then you fucking out everything just to make everything look fake. Like, why?
Because everybody believes everything's fake anyway.
Liz, Super Chatted $20. Bethany Frankel voice, asterisk, mention it all. Wings.
But imagine.
Mention it, A-L-L-L-L-L.
And they're saying they.
So we are back again, and it is oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think this has been everywhere now. This has been spreading really far over the Discord, the Lolcowlive Discord, on there, obviously on X, even Drama Alert. Now, the next two clips I'm gonna play is what I'm talking about. If you're not aware about fatcamp currently, or the current drama, probably when this is being uploaded will be Sunday, so some of the things will be resolved for the most part. There was a massive crash out particularly from Wings against, sadly against Kelly and Keemstar. But before I like to move forward, I like to say that Wings more or less blew the top, as in he more or less revealed that the whole thing with Becky was completely scripted. I think everybody knew it was scripted for the most part, one way or another. And I think because of that, I think Keem was like, damn, I've been leaked, I've been shown off. And I think in a way, I think Keem did what he can to piss off Jordy as a way to ease the hate on him. Now, do I think most of it was scripted? I think to some extent. We know that for the most part, everything else was scripted until this particular, at least for the most part, right? And I'm saying that very confidently because I think Keem went too far. He should have just manned up, took in the L and said, yeah, we scripted it. We knew she was coming back. Or at least we weren't sure, but we gave the invitation anyway. You should have just manned up before things blew up. And I think if he knew that this was going to happen, I 100% believe he would have intensified it. He would have not taken the L. He would have made Wings even more mad. And I think because of that, I think that's why he was trying to piss off Wings. At least until... And I'm not defending Wings. Before we move on, I am not defending Wings of what he did with Kelly. I think we all can see that in the clips coming up.
It's a lie.
It's a fucking lie.
You're even calling it a lie.
What part of it is not a fucking lie?
You're calling it a fucking lie.
What part of it's not a fucking lie? Tell me which part of it.
It's not a lie.
Look right there.
It's a setup.
That's not a setup. It's a fucking lie.
And why are you getting loud in my face?
Because I fucking can.
Dude, are you fucking... Are you fucking serious? You better stop.
Hey,
you better stop. You better stop. You better...
Now, in the first clip, we saw obviously Wing confronting Keemstar, which props to him for standing up against him and at least showing him off. I think most people, if this would have just been here, I think most people would have just given him prop. I think most people would have gave him a huge W for just standing his ground and kind of showing that Keem is a bitch. And I think we all already know that. We all know that for the longest time. Plus, I think we always knew that there was some tension between the two that would have eventually led to some type of physical fight. I think this was always bound to happen. Because I think they both... I'm not saying Wings hates Keem or Keem hates Wings. I think it's that there's always been tension for the longest time. And I think that it was never really resolved. That was always going to end physical. And I think if this would have just been what it is, I think most people would have not gave a shit. Let's be honest. There would have been a majority of people defending Keem, but most people would have not gave a shit. Most people would have ran the fact that Keem was a bitch or whatever. This is, and you may not like what I'm saying, but you know it is true. Even probably some of the Wings haters would have given him prop for standing up against Keem and did what he did, because the internet is very weird with this kind of stuff. So I think most people would have given him prompt, especially revealing that everything was scripted until this happened.
That's your fucking wife now. Go calm down. That's your wife, man. Go calm down. That's your wife they're hurting now. Calm down. Calm down.
Get the fuck away from her. Get the fuck away from her. What is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think this more or less discredits Wings in a sense that everything beforehand would have just given Wings a lot of prompt. And I think if I would have been Keemstar, I would have just taken the L, or just would have just eased the tension and just accepted things as it is, rather than just kind of provoking it, or knowing that like you got like a fat guy who's extremely hungry and is basically being pumped by complete protein. I think because of that, I think this was the end result. Now, when this happened, and I think everybody was debating whether or not with Kelly pushed, did she bend? Obviously she was pushed, and I can't defend the man. I will not defend the man. The man deserves this kind of hate for obvious reason. The man should have just, in a moment should have stopped. And obviously later on, Billy the First would say like he should have just stayed there right in the front. He should have just blocked them, which is true. But people are also forgetting that like the problem is that Boogie was antagonizing everybody. He was antagonizing Wings, and I think in a weird way, I think for the most part, a lot of it is, not all of it, but I think certain parts are scripted or were just being pushed away. Because I think Keem didn't like the fact that Wings told the truth, and then it made Keem and Mike look bad for bringing Becky back. And so I think in a weird way, maybe at the I think he knew to let Boogie run his mouth. Because if I was Keem, I would have just like man up and been like, all right, well, yeah, it just happened. Let's just man up. And everybody knew. It isn't like people didn't knew the show was scripted. And it isn't like how everybody else was saying the show was scripted prior. Everybody knew Fat Camp was scripted. But in this particular moment, it's like, it is also funny how Keem was trying to gain sympathy for him, which is what I'm trying. And I was saying to some Discord servers, saying that like, don't fall for the hype, don't fall for this. Now it's like almost impossible. It's almost impossible now to even like do anything or defend him, because you're just gonna look bad. Like, I'm not gonna defend what the key did. I won't. But you also gotta remember, like, Boogie was antagonizing him. Keem wasn't any better. Keem should have just manned up and taken the L. Mike should have just taken the L. They won't take the L because they're egotistic. And there's really not much you can do. There's no really rationalizing anything beyond that. You just have these guys who are butting heads all the time. This was the end result. And yeah, it is true. Then bringing back Becky did intensify this even more. If they didn't bring Becky back, none of this would have happened. But also at the same time, I think something I need to remind people is, ultimately, this is what Keem wanted. Just remember that. Keem wanted this to happen. He did not, in a way that, probably not wanting Kelly to be pushed, but he wanted that something that he would do or something Fat Camp would go viral. And this is what he wanted. Don't forget about that. That ultimately, end of the day, a lot of the fault is on Wings. But at the same time, you can't deny that Keem isn't innocent. He has, he's responsible too. And I think if you realize that, you kind of realize how messed up everything is. And that's really all I have to say. Till then, y'all, have a good one and be safe and God bless.